Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what time it is. It's time for your relationship advice. It's time to listen. It's time to get some advice about your situations as you're working at your house and at your wherever you want it to be. I can give advice to you. This is Super Savage, Super Real Savage Talk podcast. Come in at 7, sometimes at 8 o'clock. I will have the hottest interviews, have the hottest Q&As, have the hottest birthday celebrate, have the hottest parties, have a heart to heart when you're feeling lonely. I'm Super Savage, the podcast with a lot of heart, super real savage talk. Yeah, don't ever underestimate me. I got a Thank you. I am your host, Super Savage. And how you doing? You're on Super Real Savage Talks, guys. What's going on? Tuesday. Not so much over the hump day, but we're getting there. Today, let's discuss something I think that we should have been discussing, as family secrets. Ask yourself, how many secrets does your family really have? Are you the black sheep and they're keeping the secrets from you? Are you caught in the middle of a family feud? And what is your role in your family? Family problems, techniques, and fixes when we return. Super Real Savage Talks. Podcast addiction. Now please just turn around and listen. Super Savage, Super Real Savage Talk. It's 7 o'clock, sometimes even 8. I might be late. I teach about dating. If you afraid to heal by yourself, I will help you heal. If you also just want me to lend an ear, I would just listen. My job is to always pay attention, and I want to make sure that you have a good time with my podcast. Relax with my podcast show. It's like being at home. You never be alone. This is the Super Real Savage Talk. Listen closely. Anything you want to talk about, we can talk about. How you feel about COVID-19? Wearing all those masks. Okay. What about dating 2 guys or 2 women and everybody wearing disguises? Let's play a trivia. Who wants to? Super Savage, Super Real Savage Talk, the podcast. There's so many things to do on my podcast. What's up? It's your host, Super Savage. I'm back. And today we'll be talking about family secrets, family problems, and how to resolve those issues and get back on track. Ask yourself, how many family secrets do you have? Maybe you're the person that's not really into the family thing, and so your family doesn't really, bring things to you. You're kind of like the distant one out, like the black sheep. Maybe you're caught in the middle of a family feud. Many families have roles, okay? I know, my role in the family is always, I'm the last one to know when someone passes, because I'm not good at taking grief and death. So, like they already have the funeral and everything when I find out somebody didn't pass away. Because I just have a whole big breakdown, and it's just really, I act like the end of the world is just like coming to the end for real. And I mean, I be needing to talk to a psychiatrist. It'd be messed up for me. So I'm the last one. I'm the last one in the family that knows when death and stuff is here, or when someone is sick. My family always they hide when they are sick, and they don't tell anyone until the last minute. Do you have that family member that does that? That was my mom. She always, didn't want nobody to worry about her. She always wanted to make sure she was okay. And, I'm fine. You turn out, she'd be sick. So But what is your role in your family? Are you the decision maker? Are you the person that everybody comes and talks to? Are you the person that goes around and gossips? Do you stick your nose in everybody's business? So think about that. At the end of the show, I will be reflecting on your role. Many of you guys probably don't know that you're the black sheep. But if you are the only one getting bailed out of jail numerous times a month, if the whole family is coming over to your house because you've been drunk inside of there and they can't get a hold to you, or maybe you just the one that always got out of that small town and went to do something bigger with your dreams. So a black sheep doesn't always have to be a bad thing. A black sheep can also be someone who took an initiative to go somewhere and do something different than just stay where the main family line is at. Okay? My auntie, every time her sisters get into it with their husbands, they call her, and she's always caught in the middle. And she doesn't want to be. Trust me, she doesn't want to be, but she is, and it's so funny because she'll act like she's listening, but she's like painting her toenails, or watching soap operas, or at work. But you cannot tell them that their sister is not there for them. They swear up and down. You know, she's one of the best listeners, and I'd be like, she's not listening to me. And then at the end, when they ask for advice, she gives the best damn advice, and she don't even know what she's talking about. I'd be like, oh my God. If you are that person that is caught in the middle and you no longer want to be a part of that person's argument or that go-to person that your family member comes to, I advise you to sit down with your family member and have a heart-to-heart and let them know, I'm tired of listening to your shit. I got my own problem. No, but truly and honestly, communication is the key. Most family problems come from communication breakdowns, judging each other, respecting each other's boundaries because of their family connection, or just plain jealousy. Or fear that someone close to them will not be able to be here when they need them. And this is what family secrets come from. They're called the five stride problems of a family secret. And I'm not just talking about any kind of family secret. I'm not saying, oh, okay, we're hiding a birthday from grandma or anything like that. I'm talking about deep down, vicious, disturbing secrets. Okay? I'm talking about things that can get you landed in prison for the rest of your life. I'm talking about things that can get you killed. Okay, I'm talking about things that families have, organizations, and families have, they keep the best secrets. On Tickled.com, there's 21 people reveal their most dark family disturbing secrets. Okay, number 1, my grandfather managed to get his 3 kids and his wife out of Europe just before the Nazis invaded their country. The rest of the side of my family, every one of them, stayed behind and were killed in concentration camps. Decades after this, after my grandparents had died and even their kids were quite old, we found a trove of letters, dozens of them, that were from those family members, clearly responding to my grandfather's repeated pleas to leave as well. Each and every one said they were absolutely certain that they would be fine, and it seemed as if they were. Though my grandfather was alarmist and a bit of a crook. So many letters from many people he was trying to save and just wouldn't let him do it. I never met my grandfather because he died of mysterious conditions soon after they emerged. Now that I think about it, in light of him writing his original letters and getting those responses, I think he died of a broken heart. Oh, isn't that so sad? next one. Let's see here. Okay. The first person in my family to migrate to America was granted insane amount of land in order to help settle and lead a town in Virginia. 31 years later, he testified against his two eldest sons for skipping church 3 Sundays straight. Now, ain't that some fun? They were fined 100 acres of tobacco each. 2 weeks later, he threw the first stone in a public stoning and resulted in his death. They had been convicted of devil worship after skipping church 5 Sundays in a row. He was forced to resign in all public offices he held. The following Sunday, while everyone was in church, him and his remaining son burned down every building in the town except for the church. They skipped town and set fire to every tobacco field that they had been forfeited from on their way to Texas. They changed the spelling of their last name and they settled they changed the spelling of their last names when they settled in Texas, and the only reason we know this happened is because census records show both of them mysteriously appearing in a town in Texas with almost identical names. They simply changed the spelling of the Pionic version of spelling it. Didn't bother lying about their ages or where they come from. The surviving son has only one child. They both survived birth. Okay, their son became a bank robber in the late 60s, so he should pay for his children to go to law school. Somehow our family is known for famous lawyers and not the 3 generations of crimination in America. All right, that's all right. I like that one. Okay, and then another family secret was my grandfather was the only son of an unwed Mexican immigrant in Chicago. One day when he was only 7, she didn't come home. He spoke very little English and had no other family there. After she had been gone for a week and a half, he left their small apartment to find food. He passed away in the 90s, but never knew what happened to his mother. He didn't even know her real name. That is some sad shit, y'all. Now, y'all know that's sad. Y'all can laugh all day long, but I mean, that's sad. Now, these are anonymous, so this one is short. My grandpa went to prison in the 70s for trying to sneak in 10,000 pounds of weed on a tugboat. My grandmother on my mother's side was a raging alcoholic. While drunk one day, he caught my great-grandma cutting their neighbor's hair. He got instantly jealous and shot them both and himself, all 12 of his children without parents. Dang. That is crazy. Great-grandfather served as a sort of an angel of death. In World War II, he was an airborne medic and also told tales of putting injured soldiers out of their misery if they were too bad off and shape enough by overdosing them on morphine. Think that messed him up pretty bad. That was one of them. I mean, they have their email names on here, like Nowhere Man 136. Okay, but who the hell's I mean, it's not telling us that. That's all I'm not gonna say, and I'm just gonna go from story to story. So I'm gonna be laughing. What is she talking about? Yeah, I'm just going from story to story, y'all. So forget y'all. I mean, I don't care. Okay. Let's go on to one more story, I guess. Okay, my mom's dad. This is from Safari, okay? That sounds better, guys? Safari, okay? My mom's dad was a spy in World War II. He killed a lot of people and lived off his lies. He once killed an entire German family farm and lived in their house for a little while until he could contact his people again. When the war ended, he faked his death to my great-grandmother and started a family in France and just abandoned them to come back to America to work as a prosecutor in the CIA. So, we never know about that. All types of family different secrets. Yep. It be all type of crazy mess going on with families. You never know. Just crazy mess. Um, just be, don't, because you can't snitch your family out. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? Just imagine that. Try to snitch your family out. Boy, you been in a whole hell of trouble. Whole family probably kill your ass. Gotta be careful. Is there a feud between you and someone in your family, and you want to know how to fix that, or is there a toil between you and some cousins? When we return, tips on fixing broken families. When we return, I'm Super Savage, and this is Super Real Savage Talks. Podcast. You can also email me, call me on my real cellular device. Super Real Savage Talk Podcast. Give you everything you want. The listeners run my spot. Super Real Savage Talk. Super Real Savage Talk. Super Real Savage Talk. Podcast. Listen every Wednesday and Saturday. I am back, your host Super Savage, and this is Super Real Savage Talks. We are talking about family secrets, your role in your family, the bum of the family, whatever, family problems. We're talking about that today on the podcast. Now, I know I had an auntie that was adopted. My grandmother kept all of her kids except for one. And I don't know why, and I don't know why some people do this. I don't know. I don't know. But it became a problem when the sister that got adopted came back into the family. When she got grown and had her own kids, she came back into the family and she wanted to be accepted and loved. Well, my auntie, she didn't like that because she was like, she wasn't born when the other sister was giving up, so she was like, that's not my sister. It was a big ordeal. And it made my grandmother sick because, all of my grandma's kids have the same dad except for her, the one that was adopted. And so there was a lot of questions that needed to be answered, and her siblings wasn't wanting to deal with her or give her any type of cooperation so she can get any type of answers. And so it was really a tug of a war. Now, that auntie that was the black sheep, the one that got adopted, was the one that helped take care of me my whole entire life. When my mom was on drugs and stuff, I used to always go stay with my mom's sister. My mom was the only sister that did not, throw her to the wolves and say, she's not kin us or whatever. But I always used to go over to her house. And so I was the only cousin from that part of the family that knew the adopted, the adopted sister's family. And it was such of a mess. It was a big ordeal. And I hated to see my auntie so sad. So I think it's about 15 or 16. I set up a meeting. So basically what I did was I was getting ready to go to a Sadie Hawkins dance. And I graduated when I was 17. So in 11th grade I was 16. So I was getting ready for a dance. And I invited all of my aunties to this kind of like a bridal shop thingy where you go look for certain dresses or whatever to help me. And they all came, and I invited my auntie Regina, and she came, and it was wonderful. She at first it was a little resistance, but it ended up working out in the end. And I almost cried. The whole reason for this story is because you never know. Even though I was a kid, and they were grown, I saw the effect that it took took on my auntie, because she was not there already as a child, and now as an adult she still wants to be there, and they shunned her out. So I felt her on that. And sometimes family members, you're the shunner. You're the person that's doing the shunning, or you're the person that's being shunned. Either which way it go, you're losing out on a wonderful, wonderful relationship with that person, your sister, your uncle, your auntie. So it's, I was at a wit's end on how to do this, because they're not going to just come meet me out, at a bar and drink now. So I had to think of something that was significant to everyone. A lot of people said that I would not, make it as far as I have in my education and my career, because of my past with my parents and addiction. And so every little milestone that I've made growing up was a big deal to my family, because it was another outcome of a better life. So I knew that everybody would attend that, and it did, and it worked out. So that's one, that's my little story. Now, if that doesn't, give you a bright idea, you can always ask about your family history. Set up a regular phone call. Hey, just pick up the phone and just talk. Talk to that person. Send them thinking of you messages, no matter how short it is. Send them photos. Have a virtual family game night. Have a barbecue. Ask them for advice. Any type of way you can just and if you don't have to. I'm not saying just full blown give yourself to that person, and it takes baby steps to to learn that person. Yeah, by blood that is your sister, but in reality you don't know anything about this person. So you might want to start off with just text messaging them and make it a habit of doing it so often, and develop a pattern. But at the end of the day, family is what is most important, and no one wants to be without a family. If you want to have some fun, and it's been so serious in your home or in your life, I know in my family, when there's death of 5, and so things can get pretty, gleamy every 4 years, or I think it's every 2 or every 4 years. So here are some fun facts and fun ways to get closer to your family in a time of grief, in a time of need, or anything like that, and support. Write notes to each other and bring a smile to a beautiful face of everyone in your family by reminding them how special they are to you. There's nothing more important than uplifting your family. Cook and bake together. Have a potluck. Eat dinner as a family. And so many times we would at work and maybe our outside everyday activities keep us from even being close to our families that are in our home. And support each other. Everyone has a voice, so listen to each other. Be open and honest with one another. And when we return, quote of the day, and y'all stay safe on Super Real Savage Talk. Yeah. You know what time it is. It's time for your relationship advice. It's time to listen. It's time to get some advice about your situations as you're working at your house and at your wherever you want it to be. I can give advice to you. This is Super Savage, Super Real Savage Talk podcast. Come in at 7, sometimes at 8 o'clock. I will have the hottest interviews, have the hottest Q&As, have the hottest birthday celebrate, have the hottest parties, have a heart to heart when you're feeling lonely. I'm Super Savage, the podcast with a lot of heart, Super Real Savage Talk. Yeah, don't ever underestimate me. I got a podcast addiction. Now please just turn around and listen. Super Savage, Super Real Savage Talk. It's 7 o'clock, sometimes even 8. I might be late. are back. Super Savage in the building. For sure. Quote of the day. Having somewhere to go is home. Having someone to love is family. And having both is a blessing. Now, you know, it depends on how I feel that day. Some days when I do quote of the day, I may do one quote, and that quote may mean something significant. But when you're dealing with a broad topic, is such a hard topic like this, I have to do at least 4 or 5 quotes. So I don't care. So best family quotes. Also, if you have anything you want to talk about regarding the show, or just upcoming shows, or past shows, or you just want to talk, you can reach me at robinbuckley18@gmail.com, or The Real Super Savage, or Miss Super Savage on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I have so many platforms, you know what I'm saying? Like, families are the compass that guides you. They are the inspiration to reach each great height, and our comfort when we are occasionally faltered. Love your family and love each other. That's kind of cool. Being in a family means you are the part of something very wonderful. It means you are loved and will be loved for the rest of your life. And the last but not least one is this family of love, and this love of a family is life's greatest blessing by Eve Burrows. Thank you. I want to let you guys know before we end this segment that family means a lot. And if you take it for granted, it can change drastically. Many times, many days, I see people without family, and it is despairing, and it's hopelessness. I mean, it's just, I don't know what how to explain it, but be grateful that you have family and friends. Be grateful that you have someone. Don't take it for granted. Okay, that you have someone by your side, because you never know when things could change. Always love one another, respect one another, and most of all, respect yourselves. I'm Super Savage. This is This is Super Real Savage Talks, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. I teach about dating. If you afraid to heal by yourself, I will help you